scientist. I know you watch it. I see you watching news every minute of the day.
Yeah.
What do you think of Donald Trump?
I think he's great.
Why?
Because he's a showman. And we've never had a showman in the president's chair.
Well, you had Ronald Reagan. He was a bit of a showman.
Well, that's different. You can't make a comparison with Ronald Reagan, because I can do 3 hours on him with just praise. He was so good.
All right, final question. What is the legacy of Jerry Lewis?
The legacy? My son. That's the greatest legacy that I've left this world.
His son, he said.
That son. I had a bunch of them, but that son is part of my legacy. Because he'll tell anyone anything they want to know. He can tell them the date that it happened. He can tell them with whom I was at the time. And he's the greatest audience I've ever had. From the day he was born. He was a baby, but he still looked at me and went,
This is the final question. Aren't you glad?
Why is it over?
Well, we can keep going. Hey, I'm here all night. I can take you to dinner. We can continue this, which I'd like, actually.
Yeah, I'd probably have to pay.
No, I'll pay. If I can take you to dinner, I'll pay.
All right, you pay me for the interview.
Oh, well, that's a different story. I don't pay for interviews, but I do pay for dinner. Okay. This is a good time to bring up this question. This is something I know near and dear to your heart. Laughter as healing.
Oh, God,
And
yes.
how laughter can actually heal relationships, people. Tell me about this. You've spoken a lot about this. At universities, before business groups.
Everywhere in the world.
What is it about laughter that heals? How does it heal?
Well, I think you have to ask the man or the woman that laughs openly at things that may not be funny to us. But the people that laugh at things that get to them is magic. Because they didn't know it was coming. And not being a professional, they're not going to know the joke that's coming. So however laughter comes to them, it's almost a refreshing, cool water on your warm body. A woman came up to me at the hotel. I was playing here at the Desert Inn. I did a great show, 2.5 hours, and I was really on. The show was over, and security tells me there's a lady outside that's crying, but bitterly, like a child. She has to see you. Let her in. She comes in. She says, "Can I hug you?" I said, "Of course, I'll hug you back. But if we hug hard, we'll go to the room." So she says to me, "Mr. Lewis, I want to thank you for tonight's performance." I said, "Thank you." She said, "I haven't laughed in 7 years. My son was killed in Saigon. And I haven't gotten over it until tonight. And because of what you did for me out there, I understand that I've lost my son, and I'll deal with it." Wow. If you start to get a little loose, that'll make you pay attention.
And isn't that the real importance of what you do?
Sure.
And what you've always done?
Absolutely. While we're making money and while we're entertaining the public per se, there'll always be a half a dozen people in there that needed us more than the whole audience. And I never forget that they're there. They're always there.
Yeah.
People that will break your heart if you hear what they have to say. And when you generalize that, it's a huge plateau of beautiful portraits of people in need. And that gets my attention.
Okay. I'm going to tell, as I close out, I'm going to tell a little secret on my producer here, Chris. When he walked into the room, he just said hello to you, and he came out. And he said, "Look, I've got tears in my eyes." I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "When I walked in, I don't know. It was just being in front of Jerry Lewis." But you know what? It's just what you're talking about. He's responding to all the memories of the laughs and the joy that you've given him and all of us all these years. and I'm delighted to have been with you for a little bit.
I think you're about the best interviewer I've ever had.
Oh, come on. Now you're making me
I've
blush.
had a few, starting back with Tynan in London
Oh, wow.
and Robert Benegoun in Paris.
Make this season of Lent your 40 days of Catholic Radio.